Hello guys, welcome to Ways to Learn. In this session, let me explain you about the Fibonacci series using recursive method. So we all know that the Fibonacci series is an interesting sequence of numbers. We get a term by adding previous two terms. Initially, 0 and 1 are the first two terms. 0 will be the first term and 1 will be the second term. By this, we can generate the next term. By adding first term and second term, we get the third term. So fourth term we get by adding previous two terms, that is first and second. We get another term by adding previous two terms. So this sequence can be derived until a desired length. So let us generate this Fibonacci series using a recursive method. So here in C++ you know about the recursive method, that is recursive function is a function that calls itself repeatedly until certain conditions are met. So here I had given the function Fibno. So this Fibo will call repeatedly until some conditions are met. Here I had given the condition if n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1, we have to return the n value. So here we are going to stop calling the function. So if this condition is not satisfied, it calls for the function again, Fibno n minus 1. Consider an example. If you are giving a value n equal to 3, so I am giving value n equal to 3. What happens here is it checks for an if condition, that is n is not equal to 0 and it is not equal to 1. So what happens is here it executes the else part. So in else part what happens is it return by calling the function Fibno n minus 1 plus n minus 2. So here again the function is called with the n value minus 1 and minus 2. That is here n minus 1 will be n value will be 2 and here it will be 1. What happens again if it calls n equal to 2? So here the condition is checked. It is not equal to 0 or it is not equal to 1, so it comes to an else part and it again calls for a Fibonacci n minus 1 plus n minus 2. So for here now the n value is 2. 2 minus 1 is the value is 1. Here the Fibonacci of the value 0. What happens if it calls for n minus 1? If you are given n minus 1 here, the value will be 0. So 0 here will return a value n value. So it returns a value 1 to the function. Now value 1 is returned to the base function, this function. Okay, so this is the base function, it calls this function. Here Fibonacci of n minus 2, what happens? N minus 2, 2 minus 2, 0. So here it returns the n value. Now it returns the value 0 to the main function. Here we are going to add. Now here Fibonacci of 2 value is 1. Again this function is called by a base function Fibonacci of n of 3. So here 1 is returned, so the value is 1 here. So again here n minus 2, the value is 1. 1 plus 1, the value is 2. So we all know that the starting for initial number is for Fibonacci is 0, 1, next value is 1 and the next term will be 2. Okay, so here we had found the value of third term will be 2. Now we had generated a single term in Fibonacci method, recursive method. Now let me explain you how to generate a sequence of numbers by calling the function. So here we had given a while loop, while condition. Until the condition is true, this statement is going to perform. So this is said to be a while loop. While count initially the value will be 0. If we want to generate 5 numbers, okay, so it calls for number 0 less than 5. So if it is less than 5, it calls for the Fibonacci function. So in the Fibonacci function, it sends a value count. Initially the value will be 0. So what happens if it is 0? It returns a value 0. It prints the value 0. Again, it increments the value to 1. What happens when it is 1? 1 is less than 5. Yes. The count fib of 1. Fibonacci of 1. Fibonacci of 1 means again it returns the value. It won't add any value. Again the count will be incremented to another value. Now the value is 2 here. What happens? 2 is less than number, that is 5. So if you are calling this function with the value 2, what happens? This is not equal to 0 and 1. It calls for this function. So that is 2 minus 1 is 1 and n minus 2 is value 0. So it returns a value 1. So here it returns a value 1. So this is the way it is going to call this recursive function repeatedly until the condition is met, until we need a series of terms. Now let me show you how this output will be. So this is the code I had explained you. I had typed this in a Visual Studio to execute and show you. Let me show you. So here we have to give a value to the number. How many numbers has to be generated? I am going to give a value 10 to generate 10 values. Let's see. 3, 3, 6, 9, 10. Yes, we had generated 10 Fibonacci numbers. I hope you got some idea on how to generate Fibonacci numbers using recursive method. If you need any C++ coding help, please post it in the comments. Thank you guys.